Shot Yaar.
Well, that's gone straight up in the air. Wall won't drop. There's no way in the world. He's dropped it. I can't believe it. What is going on?
पहले तो अल्लाह ताला का बहुत बहुत शुक्र है कि अल्लाह ने इतना अच्छा
Brilliant cricket. Wonderful cricket by Pakistan. The fast ball was struck again.
अगर सरफराज को ठंड लग गई या वो अनफिट हो गए तो टीम में कोई ऐसा खिलाड़ी है जो हंगामी तौर पर ये जिम्मेदारी कबूल कर ले?
इंशाल्लाह कोशिश करेंगे कि उसे ठंड ना लगे.
All right, we're back, baby. Pakistan beat Bangladesh. All we need now is for us to win our remaining 2 games and for New Zealand to lose everything they have left. So it's all smooth sailing from here on onwards. We're gonna make the semis. You can book it. You can take my word for it. Welcome once again to the Shot Yaar Podcast. I'm Osman Khalid. I'm joined today by Ramiz and Haris. No Zan. He's dealing with some personal stuff, but he'll be joining us hopefully soon. Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Good. Excited we won a game.
Yeah, all right. Finally, we beat Bangladesh. Who maybe we need to talk separately about Bangladesh and how awful they are. These guys have been at the same level for like 20 years. The last 20 years have been like mediocre. They don't have a lot of wins that they can be proud of. If you contrast it with like somebody like Afghanistan, right, who have been relatively new in the world of cricket, and they've just blown by them in terms of the progress they've made. Maybe that's this is a Pakistan podcast. I don't want to shit on Bangladesh the whole time, but I was thinking about that today after the game because this wasn't even like close. This was like when Pakistan beats you like that, you know your shit.
It was a very rare clinical performance of Pakistan. You know
yeah, right. But yeah. Let's start with the game, and then agenda for today is like we're gonna talk about the game, and then we're just gonna spend the second half of the show. We're gonna be talking about all the PCB drama that's been going on for the last few days. I guess I should mention a couple of housekeeping notes. I know we're late on this episode. We were supposed to record after the South Africa game, but some stuff came up for all of us, really. And then we were supposed to have a guest from Stumps and Insights, Adham, and he's going to be actually joining us on Sunday after the New Zealand game. So look out for that for sure. But yeah, let's talk about the game. Any thoughts? What do you guys think, man? Not a lot of negatives in this one, I think.
Yeah, I think you just took the words right out of my mouth. There's not... I'm always looking for something to criticize, but I mean, looking at the score, looking at the scorecard, looking at what I saw, pretty top to bottom clinical performance. I was expecting a win, and the way they just went out there, handled their business top to bottom, not a lot of, faults or cracks in the line. I think everyone played their role a bit well. Would have liked to see Agha Salman, he had the easiest day out in the field, but aside from him, everyone chipped in. Fakhar Zaman too, good. Great, fantastic comeback from him. I'm sure we'll touch on a lot there. But yeah, top to bottom, clinical performance. I know it's against Bangladesh, but a win is a win.
On Agha Salman, I just want to remove before you go. I was so rooting for this guy to be back in the team, and he got to do nothing today except for that one catch that he took.
Easiest paycheck.
glad that he was at least able to get a game in. Hopefully, he plays the next one too. Go ahead, Reese.
Yeah, no, the game ended up really well. I didn't watch the whole thing, but looking at the scorecard, I think our batting was clinical. We chased it really, really well. Fakhar Zaman in the beginning, coming back after a few games. I think he did his job. Hit a lot of sixes for sure. How many were there? 4 in the power play?
At least 5. 5 total. Yeah, I think he had at least 3 or 4 in the power play.
He hit 7 in total.
I don't know what the total number was, but yeah, he like at one point, I think in the middle at some point they mentioned that he had 5, and I think you're right.
Yeah.
7.
He ended with 7.
More.
My favorite one of the lot was the one he played over third man. That was a great shot. His back
Dude, the first one that I don't know if it was the first one, the one to Saskeen, was like the sound that made, and I think it's going viral, right? Of Waqar Yunus, Ravi Shastri, and Shane Watson in the commentary box. Like Shane Watson is like, what the fuck? Like, this guy just demolished this ball, right? 99 meter 6.
Yeah.
No, actually, it wasn't the biggest. I think somebody has hit. I don't know who it was at the top of
Third
the
biggest.
chart. They
I
showed
think it was
the
Maxwell and Markram. And they were top.
yeah. Somebody has hit a 105-meter six, and then Fakhr Zaman's six was at 99 meters, third on the list. But anyways, yeah, I guess we can start with our bowling, right? Shaheen, that first spell was incredible. Um, his first wicket was kind of like you know and maybe we in the South Africa game there was a controversial thing towards the end, right? How to drove the LBW. We haven't talked about it on the show, but the Shamsi LBW at the end, right, where if you give that out, and to the naked eye that did look out,
Mm.
live when he delivered that ball, I was like, give this out, that's out, right? um but today, like, Shaheen's first wicket, that looked a little high to when I first saw it. um, I thought, he was a little unlucky to get that out, to be honest. But nonetheless, I think Shaheen's first spell was really great. Yeah, he bowled really well, man. He got those two wickets, and then over to other people, right? Great catch by Osama too. Ever since he's dropped that Warner catch, he's taken all five, I think, that he's had.
Yeah.
And really good catch at Shortman wicket.
Yeah, good to see Shaheen like back in his prime again. I guess, I mean, it was only really about a month or so since that like Asia Cup performance where he like toppled India in no top order, but then that like time in the middle was really rough. So to see him kind of bounce back was really good. Another thing I liked was every time like he returned for another spell, he didn't look like he needed to adjust at all, which is a thing we saw throughout the World Cup. Like the first spell was kind of off, and the second spell was okay. I think he was consistent throughout. He always looked like he was like about to take a wicket throughout, which is like just the Shaheen we know and love.
Yeah, our bowling's been really good the last two games. We just look like a different bowling outfit right now. I wish we had some of this before in earlier games. Maybe against Australia, if we got an earlier wicket, um, things would have been different. But yeah, with last two games, he bowled really well. Shaheen, that third wicket today, that was amazing. He took the pace of the ball and cut in, and it was an incredible delivery. I think
Yeah.
Wasim Awakar Yunus went crazy on that delivery too.
Yeah, he had an orgasm when he saw that. But yeah, Ravi. I don't know if you guys remember. I think we talked about it on the show briefly. But Ravi Shastri mentioned on Hindi commentary in the Pakistan India game that Shaheen was an average bowler. We don't need to hype him up too much. And since then, Shaheen has been incredible. And I think Shaheen is the top wicket taker now after this game today in the
Yeah,
tournament.
he's the
So,
top. Zampa's right behind him, but a game in hand. I think
so
16 and
yeah,
13, I think.
yeah, Ravi Shastri, you can suck it, man. You're wrong.
He,
He's the
he has
best in
more,
the world.
he has
The
more than
Eagle,
Oka,
baby.
which is all that matters.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot of negatives. I'm pretty happy with the overall performance. I do want to talk about. I feel like this happens every time we talk about this bowling team outfit right now. Spinners. Osama Mir, I thought he was below average again. And maybe we need to start taking Ifti seriously as a spinner, as a full time option. We always look at him as a part timer. This guy's length. I messaged you guys when he was like in his fifth over or something today, and I was like, this guy's length is immaculate. He hits the length that he's supposed to. Good length every time. Um, Shakib Al Hassan, I think, was batting, or I don't know who it was, but they did not know whether they should come forward or back to him, and that's what you need to do, and that's what we've been asking our supposedly frontline spinners to do in Shadab and Osama Mir, right? And they haven't been able to do that. Even today, Osama Mir was struggling with the same thing. He couldn't find his length. He couldn't. Line was actually okay for the most part. I think his length has been the problem for both him and Shadab actually. Um, yeah, what do you guys think? I think you need to fix this at some point, and you're running out of games to do that. I don't know what the solution is, but you got to figure out a way. And maybe the solution is to play bowl 10 overs with Ifti, and maybe Salman Agha if he's playing bowls a few overs, and you try to cover it up that way. I don't know what the solution is because you do have these two frontline spinners, and they're gonna play for you. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think I'm ready to crown Ifti as like the next great like Graham Swan, Nathan Lyon, Ravi Ashwin, and like the line of great off spinners. But yeah, I mean like he didn't turn the ball that much, honestly, but like not as a slight to him, but he bowled terrifically, like you said, a line in length and just placed that doubt in the batsman's mind whether they go front or back. And I think you're right. It was Shakib, who's a great batsman in his own right, who should be batting in number three if you haven't heard, but like he didn't know what to do, and if the guard looked dangerous the whole time, it was economical. Took a wicket. But yeah, our frontline spinners. I thought Osama Mir bowled decently well. Like you said, line and length.
Hottest, come on, dude. That you know he didn't bowl well today. I know
I'm
you're
not.
a big
I
Osama
didn't
Mir
say he
fan, but
bowled
you
well.
can't
I
say that.
said he bowled decently well at times. Let me finish. He bowled decently well at
No,
times.
no. He gets a D from
And
me today
he gets a
on a scale
solid.
of A to D.
I think the thing is like, I honestly in an ideal world with like a proper management, Osama Mir would have had like 20 ODIs by now, and he would have worked out these kinks. And I think I was
Yeah.
talking to you, Usman. I'm still ready to persist with Osama Mir. The signs are there that he's going to be a good spinner. I mean, he gets the bounce, he gets the turn, he has a googly, which I didn't see too much of today, but I mean, he has. Um, so should take notes from Ifti, and I feel like this just plays the importance of like playing first class cricket because Ifti has played a lot of that. That's where you learn line and length. You don't come out to a World Cup or international matches and I'm going to learn how to bowl spin. I'm going to learn put in line and length. That's where Ifti shows you learn in first class cricket. But yeah, I was surprised. One more quick thing, I was surprised we didn't see Aga Saman bowl today. Yeah, even considering like Sama Mir wasn't that great, and what's the point? And Saman is basically coming in for Muhammad Nawaz, who's bowling his quota most of the time. So for him to not bowl one over was kind of puzzling, but
Yeah.
we got the
Yeah,
win.
I thought he would at least get one just to see what he
Yeah,
can do.
just to see.
And I was hoping he would get that chance, but I guess with the way Ifty was bowling, Babar felt like he didn't really need to do that. And when you're playing somebody like Osama, you want to at least give him a chance to correct it.
Mhm.
Right? And we're talking about like I'm saying I'm being very critical of Osama Mir, but we talked about it while we were watching the game today, and I was saying that I he's bowling badly, but I don't think we should drop him. I think you persist with a guy like this, you make sure that he gets enough, and that's Pakistan cricket. We always say that you get two games and you're out, right?
Mhm.
That's not what we should do with somebody like Osama Mir. Give him more games. He's coming to the World Cup squad. He's not he doesn't have a lot of experience, but you back this guy moving forward. In saying that, I don't think he was very good today, but he'll improve. I think in the future for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think Osama Mir is the kind of guy you keep around. He's eventually going to come good, and he's probably going to come good at a key point. Knowing some of our players have done really well in the past, they come clutch at the right time. I think that's what he could do. But going back to Ifti, I think he's really consistent with his line and length, like you mentioned, Usman. I even the South Africa game, I feel like the last over, the last over where the game finished, I think it should have gone to Ifti. Nawaz, I don't know what he was thinking in that game where there's no fine leg and he bowled on the leg stump, and there was only one thing that was going to happen: go for a four, right? Um, but yeah, if T, I feel
While
like we
sorry,
could.
Ramiz, while we're talking about
Yeah,
that, can we just talk about the end of that game a little bit? And maybe I don't want to derail the conversation, but yeah, that was an awful decision by Babar to give that guy the ball. And Nawaz has lost us like three games now in that fashion, where he's the one pulling the last over. And um, I think we were all saying when we were watching that game towards the end there that Osama Mir definitely should have bowled that over, and he did bowl well in that game. He bowled um, compared to today and the games before that, he bowled really well, and he got a few wickets, and he was doing his thing right. And you give your bowler who's bowling well on the day that chance. I don't, he's young, he has less experience, but I don't know what Babar sees in Nawaz. Honestly, he's been backing this guy for so long, and I don't understand this like obsession with Mohammad Nawaz. I think he's a mediocre player, um, and he'll maybe give you more than that on a good day. But yeah, that's my rant on Mohammad Nawaz. Um, I
yeah,
didn't
no, I
mean to
agree
derail
with
the
that.
conversation.
No, I don't think we should have given the last over to Nawaz for sure. I also don't think Osama Mir should have got it. I don't think it's about the experience. It's just that like spinners tend to be less accurate as opposed to off spinners, right? Or finger spinners rather.
Who
The
would you have
reason why
given it to?
Nawaz Ifty for sure, Ifty, 100%. He's so accurate, like we just spoke about, right?
Yeah.
That's what we needed. We just needed someone who could bowl to the field that we set. And I don't know what Nawaz was doing. You're a professional player. You're not playing like club cricket or like gali mein nahi khel raha banda. You should at least be able to bowl the correct line, if not the length, because you literally just have to bowl on the offside where the field is set. There's one spot where there was no fielder, and that's where you bowled the ball. So Yeah, definitely not a very accurate finger spinner. Shouldn't have got that over. Yeah, Ifti should have got it in my opinion for sure.
I feel like Nawaz is that kind of guy. I mean, like when the stakes are low, when you're playing like Bangladesh at home, he's gonna take you like give you like 4 wickets for like 10 runs. I mean, he has a talent. I'm not denying that, but like he just the pressure gets to him, and like one time is like all right, whatever happens. 2 times like all right, maybe there's something here, but like 3, 4 times maybe. I mean, this is like a clear pattern. Like it's been 6 years since he debuted, and he's still like not able to stick to a game plan, able to stick to the line length, like Rami said. I mean, I would have gone to the Sama if the Gar was probably like a decent shout too. I would have agreed with if the Gar. But I had that. I don't know if you guys had it, but like as soon as like Nawaz at the ball and he was starting his run up, like dread in my heart, flashbacks.
Yeah, Nawaz, when he was getting the ball, uski apni phati huई thi, he was like, I don't, he looked like he didn't want to bowl, right? I was like, this guy doesn't, and I don't, maybe we should check this. I don't know when, he hadn't bowled for a while in that game, until he got that last over, because other people were bowling. That game feels like a long time ago now, so I don't really remember fully, but I
I
think,
think he opened the bowling that game, and then he bowled a lot of his overs between the 15th and the 25th over. And yeah, I don't think he bowled much after that. He really just came
yeah,
at the end at,
yeah.
at that
So,
point.
and that's the other factor too, right? You're bringing in a guy who's cold. He's not in
Yeah.
the middle of a spell or anything. You're bringing him a guy just for one over, and you're saying, um, "Hey, finish the job for me. Defend." What was it? 5 runs in that last in his over.
Five, yeah,
But
five
really,
runs.
you need a wicket. You're not looking to save runs there. You need a wicket. And maybe he was thinking, if he can get through that over, I give it to Osama. I don't know what his plan was, but that's the moment where you give. I would have bowled Osama Mir in that time, but if he is a good shout too, I
Mhm.
think either one of those would have been okay. But anyways, I think we're going back in time now and talking about the game. I just wanted to mention while we were talking about Nawaz and spinners and things like that, I wanted to bring that up. Anything else about the bowling? I thought the bowling overall was really good. There was a time in the middle where it looked like Bangladesh were kind of getting back on track, and that's when Litton Das played a very stupid shot. And he did like that's something you expect from a Pakistan batsman in the middle of the innings. Things are going well, and you just play that kind of a dumb thing to short mid wicket. Haris, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, make sure he gets mentioned. Shout out Muhammad Wasim, cleaned up the tail beautifully.
Yeah.
And you guys gave me crap for this, but I mean in like the best way. It was Wahab Riaz esque when he would come in and clean up the tail with some reverse swing. I mean it in a good way. I mean it in a good
No,
way.
I mean, I realized later that you're a young guy. You don't remember the Wakar Yunus like
No.
reverse swing spells, right?
Do you
So
guys
for
remember
you,
Waqar Yunus? He was like the 90s.
I yeah, I mean, I was born in 1990, so
What, you were like 8 when you saw
I,
him?
I was around when I saw some Wakar Yunus games. I,
Nice.
I saw a lot of Wasim Akram games.
I'm not
Um,
ready to claim Muhammad Wasim like Waqar Yunus esque for now. I feel like he's getting
Well,
there.
No, I'm
Yorkers
not. I'm not.
Yorkers
No,
are
I'm not.
definitely
I'm
like
not
that though.
saying. I'm not saying it
Yeah,
was. It
yeah.
was. I'm not saying he's Wasim Akram, man. I'm just saying that. I'm just
But
saying that
yeah,
if you're gonna compare reverse swing to anybody, it should be those guys.
no,
Yeah,
but no, I just remember like
Wahab Riaz kaun hai yaar?
no,
Come
I just
on.
remember
seriously.
like in the 2019 World Cup against South Africa, Wahab Riaz had the exact same sort of spell. He took 3 bowled wickets with reverse swing.
Yeah,
Totally,
no, I'm talking shit. But Wahab Riaz, when he
yeah,
wanted to, he could. He could. I remember in that England series, in that England Test series. I don't know
2016.
what year it was. 2016 exactly, the one where
Yeah,
Misbah got that big 100 at Lords. I don't know if it was at Lords actually, but Misbah got 100 in the first innings, and then he got
yes,
a duck in the second innings.
yeah.
I think that was a record or something at that time.
Kind
But
of
yeah,
as an aside.
I remember him reversing it there too. And we talked about today the Wahab Riaz's first ball duck to Yuvraj Singh in 2011.
Yep.
That was a great reverse
Really.
swing delivery, first ball. Anyway, we're getting derailed a lot here. Yeah, Mohamed Sim Jr. Great job to clean up the tail today. I thought. And that's something we've been asking for, right? Just finish up the tail. We have a tendency to let batters get set in, and then just give useless runs away, and then they get to a score like 250, and you don't. I thought the job by Mohamed Sim Jr. specifically was, three good reverse swinging deliveries. He got all bowled, and he just finished the tail up quickly. And it's Bangladesh. We I think we need to keep reminding ourselves that it's Bangladesh. I think they're the worst team in the World Cup. I think they're worse than Netherlands, to be honest. I know they beat them, but um, I
A
think
win
they're
is a
worse than
win.
them. A win is a
A
win.
win is a
They
win.
But
they
yeah,
also beat Afghanistan.
did they? No, they have 2 points.
Yeah, they did.
They beat him
They beat
early on.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, they beat him
The
early.
first
They
game,
did.
Afghanistan
Okay, so then they
Bangladesh. Yeah.
haven't played Netherlands yet. I thought their one win
Think
was
about
against
it. Think
Netherlands.
about it. If Afghanistan won that game, they would have almost been through right now to the next
That's
round.
crazy, dude. Like Afghanistan is technically, if you take into account games in hand, they're ahead of us. If they win their next game,
Yeah,
we have the
yeah,
same number of games played, and they would be 2 points ahead. That's
Hmm.
crazy. But they have
yeah.
tough
They
games
showed on
coming up.
TV.
I don't.
They showed
I
on TV the percentages of chances of teams going through. Afghanistan was like 20 and change. Pakistan was 9 and change. So they definitely have a higher chance than us because we need New Zealand to lose both the games. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we see
Afghanistan
Bangladesh
can
losing cricket.
probably go just by winning their games out, right? If they do that, or is there
Yeah, I
like, do
think
they need
so.
other results to go their way too?
And I think so. That would take them to 12 points, and I feel like that's pretty solid if they
Is
win out.
12 points enough? Are we saying that 12 points is enough right now to get through?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
They
for
In
said
sure.
any
seven,
in any case, like,
I think they
or do
said
you
like
still need other teams?
14 points is like
So
you're very firmly in the semifinal. Um,
Okay,
12 is probably like pretty solid, and then like anything less than that, you have to depend on net run rate.
right.
the max points we can get now is 10 points.
Mm.
Afghanistan can get 12. Australia can get 12. New Zealand
Yeah,
can
but
get
who is
12.
Afghanistan playing, man? They're not gonna. They're playing good teams. They're gonna play
They're
Australia.
playing
They're
New
gonna
Zealand, I believe, and someone
no,
They're
else.
no, New
playing
Zealand.
they're,
Yeah.
they're playing Netherlands on Friday, Australia on Tuesday, and then South Africa. So it's a pretty
Okay.
हाँ अगर
and they're
अगर
capable of
अफगान
upsetting any of these teams. They can get upset anyone.
They can beat them. Yeah.
yeah, but our best shot right now is and
Dua.
if I make a reel out of this or something to post on social media, I'll put that graphic that's been going around, right?
Yeah.
With all the results that we need to make it through. We basically need New Zealand to lose all their games. That's our best shot. Somebody was
Yeah.
I was seeing some stuff on Twitter today, and people were saying we can still improve our net run rate. But Mazhar Arshad is his name, right? Yeah, Mazhar Arshad, who's like a statistician. He's very good with this kind of stuff. He said that you can improve your net run rate all you want. You would need like a New Zealand will need to lose at least one game by like a massive margin for us
Mhm.
to have that kind of shot. So our best chance right now is to just go um, have 10 points and hope that New Zealand has 8 points. That's what we need to aim for. And our boy Temba Big Booty is gonna make sure of that. Right, tomorrow they're playing New Zealand tomorrow, and we need to make sure that his team helps us out there. But yeah, okay. Anything else about the bowling? The only negative for me is Samir and our frontline spinners in general. Shadab didn't play; he has a concussion. And I want to mention with Shadab saying he has a concussion. I don't know when he's going to be ready to play. But Omar Gul, you loser. This guy on TV, I don't know if you guys saw this.
I
On
saw
TV,
that.
he was like, he accused Shadab of faking his injury. And he said that he said this guy is faking it. And then when Pakistan was getting back in the game, he was standing by the sidelines. I'm like, what the fuck do you want him to do? You want him to just like go to the bathroom? Like, what the, like,
Like laying a
it's
cock.
just a ridiculous accusation to make on a player that's playing for your team in the World Cup. And we'll shit more on, these ex cricketers and PCB later on in the show. But just because we were talking about Shadab, I wanted to.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like I'm not gonna lie. Even when it happened, I thought I didn't think it happened, but like there could have been a chance that he faked it just so Osama Mir
Rameez,
could come
come
in for the
on,
second
man.
half.
We need to
I'm
stop
not.
this. Like, why would he do that? Like,
yeah.
you think Shadab is sitting there going, I need to get out of this team and I need to sit on the bench?
No, maybe it was a team plan, right? Like तुम बैटिंग कर लेना उसके अगली इनिंग में तुम सर पकड़ के बैठ जाना
Oh,
ताकि मैं
nahi,
उसामा को
yaar.
लाके बॉलिंग
ये
करा
ऐसे
दें.
थोड़ी होता है. There's a whole concussion. To be fair, when he
It's
that
not that
dive,
hard to fake it if it's out of
Where's your tinfoil hat?
मतलब
he's taking like a
when you do
Panadol
tests,
on
you
the
know,
side. Like,
yeah, like when
like,
you
oh,
do,
sar mein dard ho raha hai.
yeah, no, they do like a test, like how many fingers you see and stuff like that, right? When there's a head injury, and like they
Yeah, I've
see if
always
you can
wondered
move
like
your head in line.
what the
So
actual test is like for a concussion. They always say concussion test, right?
They
And they do that in like hockey and shit too, right?
they
Where
look at
like
your
yeah,
pupils. They like shine a light on it,
yeah,
see if it like dilates or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if
and you
it
and if
dilate, then I
it's
think that's a sign. Also, like balance is a thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a doctor, but
yeah,
But
they
but
try
for
to
me,
they follow. You have to follow their finger and stuff too. It's not that hard to
yeah.
fake it.
But anyway, I'm just saying that I don't think it would be as easy as like mujhe sar mein dard ho raha hai. I'm sure you need to submit
No, no,
something to
it's
the
not.
match
नहीं नहीं
referee as like a report or something saying officially that this
यार
guy's
डॉक्टर की सर्जरी अब एक बंदा डॉक्टर है राइट ही इज अ डॉक्टर फॉर a living he knows the symptoms of it right and if it's a team plan the doctor can tell the player okay this is what you have to do to fail the concussion test. I'm not saying this happened but I'm just saying
Ramesh,
it's
man,
doable.
You're agreeing with Omar
No, no, no,
Go after we just gave him hell.
I'm not
Uh,
definitely not agreeing.
no,
he's
no,
like,
I'm kidding.
I'm
I'm
just
gonna move
saying
my finger
it's
right. You say it's going left, and we'll be good.
yeah. Exactly. No, I don't think he faked it, but it's
Yes,
always a possibility.
I
Like
To
was.
be fair, I'll say that when he dove and he fell and they showed the replay, I didn't see his head hitting the ground or anything. So I was like, what's going on, right? And then I realized that concussions are weird, right? They can happen at with any kind of movement. I'm sure he kind of jerked his head or something, like and that sort of thing can cause concussions too. I don't know. Like I'm I'm not accusing Jadab of faking anything, but that did look pretty harmless
uh,
on replay, and it was just a shame that he went through that. But haha, we got Omir in the game and almost won that, right?
It's a
So
Brian my
yeah,
time. This is all
yeah,
planned.
yeah.
Yeah.
Haris was probably fucking jumping for joy when that happened because he
No,
loves
I
some
don't.
Omir and hates
I
Shadab.
don't root for anyone to get hurt. But if it means a Brian can come in, then I guess it's a small silver lining. But hopefully he
Yeah,
recovers.
I wonder if that's a thing that's gonna happen. Like concussion, like you never know. Concussion is something that can
Yeah,
take weeks, months to
you need
kind
a
of
scan
fully
to
go
know for
away.
sure. But
Yeah, so maybe that's something they need to look at and say, okay, is this guy gonna be out for a significant period of time? And if he is, yeah, bring Abrar in. Maybe we can play him one of these games. He's a guy who could be like an X factor against a good team. I think, particularly somebody like New Zealand, who aren't really good players of spin, right? So, or he could just get
I don't know.
hit for
I don't
80
know.
runs. Who knows? Like
I
like
don't know if we should be replacing Shadab to be honest. Like it's
you know
unless
why?
we're sure that he's because he can bat.
Because Shaggy can bat. Yeah,
did you guys
Yeah.
know since September of last year this is Shadab's third concussion? Like
really.
it gets worse with every concussion. Like every the symptoms
There you
can.
go, man.
I don't know if this is like a pattern or something. I mean, like what happened on Friday was like it was luck.
And
He's
Ramiz is
he's
like he's
he's
faking it.
probably a good actor.
बेचारे को
He's
तीन
probably a
दफा
good
हो चुकी
actor.
है.
Fantastic acting, great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about the bowling? Anything else specifically you
No.
guys want to bring up about the bowling? No, right?
No, I think we should move on from the game. It's only
No,
about
no. We gotta
bowling.
talk about our batting, man. Come on. There's so much positive to talk
He
about
wants to get
today.
into the drama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, we'll
drama
get
is
to
where it's
that,
at.
man. Listen, let me
I'll
enjoy
say
this part of
say
it because next part I'm gonna get really riled up when we talk about that.
I'll say Haris
Uh,
Rauf, not bad too. I just want to mention his name too. Credit where it's due.
yeah, Harish Rauf.
2 wickets for
I don't know if
36.
I don't know if you saw his first over, but he
He got hit, right?
the run rate was so bad, and he came and gave like I think 13 or 15 runs in his first over, like 3 boundaries or something. And I was like, oh, Harish Rauf at it again, right? And then he
Yeah,
and then he actually,
for
I was yelling at my TV for him to pull his length back because he bowled like 2 or 3 full deliveries and they went for four, two straight down the ground, and then one at cover, I think, or cover point kind of region, and he pulled his length back. Thankfully, I was like, this guy's gonna keep bowling full, and he's gonna get smacked around. But he, luckily had some game awareness and pulled his length back, and that's when he got the wicket of Mushfiqur Rahim. Right, that was a good delivery. I don't think it moved a lot actually. I think he just got beaten by pace. And again, like this is Bangladesh, right? I think a decent batsman from any other team probably doesn't edge that, but we need to take all these wickets with a grain of salt. I think I'm turning into Haris. I'm turning into like a negative. Like this doesn't mean anything. This
spreading
win
it.
is just yeah,
I can't
yeah,
believe I'm the one saying a win is a win.
yeah. You're the one being positive today,
I'm
and
the
I'm
one
like
giving credit. Pakistan, it's crazy, man.
finding negatives and everything.
I don't give credit to Haris Rauf usually, but good comeback.
Yeah. No, he bowled well today.
Yeah,
I think towards the end of it, by the end of the innings, his economy was let's see, how
four
much was it?
something, 4-8, 4-5.
Four, yeah, 4.5, two for 36 and 8 overs. So yeah, pretty good effort. Anyway, yeah, let's move on to batting. Not much to talk here. Only 3 wickets fell. Abdullah Shafiq, great innings. Fakhar Zaman, amazing innings. And maybe we need to have a little bit of a discussion about Fakhar Zaman. I think Imamul Haq is you sit Imam for the tournament now. I think Fakhar Zaman looked like he and again I'll say it was Bangladesh, but he looked like the Fakhar Zaman of old. He batted really well, just aggressive. And that's the thing, right? A player like that, when he's playing well, puts somebody like Abdullah Shafiq, who's more of an anchor, at ease, right? He's not under pressure to play stupid shots then. When he's playing with Imam, that's an issue because they're both playing the same way. If there's a lot of dots, then one of them has to take the offensive route. Um, yeah, what do you guys think? Fakhar Zaman, exciting stuff, right?
Love to see it. Great bounce back for him. The way they opened today is like how modern ODI opening should be done. One guy's kind of playing aggressor, and like the more conservative batsman is still striking at like a 85, 90, 95 strike rate, which I think Abdullah Shafiq is like that. He's great at. Those sixes were beautiful. I mean, it just kept coming. The one with the skin element, I think, was like fantastic. I mean, like just full swing. You love to see it. Um, yeah, I mean, like, I've heard this around. I don't know what you guys think, but like the way Imam Ul Haq would play, like today, like playing out the dot balls and like putting pressure on other batsmen. I know it's cliche, but like you kept seeing that match after match, and the way that Fucker just took the attack to the bowlers and then like allowed Abdullah Shafiq to kind of be more chill, more
Yeah,
relaxed, but also put on the runs was fantastic. So I mean, what the opening partnership was 128. I mean, perfect. Love
yeah,
to see.
yeah. I'll just mention that in the post game presser, Fakhar Zaman also mentioned that he he was like he wasn't worried about personal milestones. He was worried about the team's net run rate. And then there was, people are shitting on Imam, right? That's a little bit unfair. Imam wasn't playing today, and you're still shitting on him. People were saying if that was Imam, he would have went for a century and played like a 80 strike rate kind of innings, right?
Definitely.
That sort of thing. Guy's not playing today. I don't want to give him any grief today, but maybe
I
maybe he
will.
would have done
I can.
that.
I feel like it's a psychological thing, when a player hits sixes, we just naturally think that he's playing really fast, right?
So that's
After 10
what it is,
overs,
Ramesh.
after
Six is the
no, it's
most
yeah,
amount of
yeah,
runs
of
you
course,
can
of course,
get.
of course, absolutely. But after 10 overs, we were at 52 runs, right? Even when Imam's played, we've been around 45 to 55 runs every single game, right? We're saying that, yeah, we played really well in the power play, but it's been the same as every other game, like around the same, roughly, right? The only difference is there were a few extra sixes, which, again, like I said, brings a psychological impact. Imam was doing it differently without sixes. Fucker's doing it with the sixes. So at the end of the day, it's very similar. I think Fucker did accelerate after he got to 30 though. Before that, I think he was like 25 of 35 deliveries, something like that. Um, Imam's getting unnecessary flack, to be honest. And wait till Fucker fails again. Wait till Fucker
I
fails
had to
again.
unmute myself so
Same
I
don
could
wapas
laugh at
aa
you
jayegi.
because I don't want to be
Yeah,
laughing in
yeah,
silence. I
yeah,
completely disagree that it's the same thing. I think Imam is and I you know it, it's not Imam's fault. He's more of a technically proficient. He's more of a test player, right? And you're asking him to play this kind of modern one day power play kind of cricket. That's not his game. Um,
but the
so
scores were around the same. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? Like Fakar Zaman, sure, he hit a lot of sixes. Like he hit five sixes, but the score was still like 3 runs more than what we had against Australia. Against
यार
Australia,
लेकिन
after 10
एक्साइटमेंट ज्यादा
overs,
मिली थी ना
49
इमाम
पे थे.
इमाम इमाम
हाँ
से हमें
वही
खुशी
ना.
नहीं होती हम छक्के नहीं देख सकते ना फिर we
या
need to see no
नहीं,
but
बांग्लादेश के
I
अगेंस्ट नहीं
I
खेला ना
think I
उसने.
think somebody like Fakhr, like there's a reason we call him the match winner, right? Because you're right. If you look at the numbers, his strike rate was around the same today. But I think we're looking at it in a vacuum, right? I think Fakhr does way more in terms of being aggressive and providing a kind of uh, a more aggressive platform for us if he gets going today. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
just
they were
psychological
kind of
thing,
slow
right?
in the
Like I
beginning.
said.
Yeah, psychologically, exactly. And even if he bats at 100 strike rate by the end of it, that's fine, as long as, like I said, if it's putting Abdullah Shafiq on the other end at ease, thinking that I don't have to play a stupid shot and go for a six. And we've seen him do that, right? Against India, he did that. Against I think whoever played next after that, he did that. He came down to the track and he got caught, right? So that sort of thing. Yeah. um we and this is, maybe we need to give credit to our selection and Babar for taking three specialist openers. not all of them were firing at once, and this is what you do, right? You rotate them around and see who's working. And we started with Imam and Fakhr before the World Cup, and then we switched it around to Abdullah and Imam, because Imam was, you got to give him more leash. And then now it's Fakhr and Abdullah, right? So when you have three openers like that, I think it gives you more luxury to switch things around and just wait until a combination clicks. And that, I think, this is right now, this is the best combination until until one of them fails, and we're gonna be like, bring back Imam, right? But yeah.
Yeah, Fucker is highly likely to be the one who's gonna fail though.
This guy has a lobby against Fakhr,
That's
and
just part of the
he
that's just
loves
part of
Imam
being
ul
who
Haq.
it is.
No, I've even
Are you
since
related to Imam ul Haq by
champions.
any chance?
No, I'm not.
What's your full name,
Uh,
Ramiz? Ramiz ul Haq?
It's your measles luck.
Ramiz ul Haq. No, like Fakar Zaman, I think he's. I don't know what to say about him. He's
I
such a
agree, man.
controversial
I was
player.
shitting a lot on
In
Fakhar Zaman too,
Pakistan.
because I feel like he's kind of a wild card, right? You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
If he
yeah.
gets fired up like he did today, then sure, it's a great innings. But I was giving him a lot of hell for what he did in the Asia Cup, where he was trying to defend when he couldn't. He wasn't in form, and he was trying to defend, and he ended up playing like a 60 strike rate innings. We talked about that on this show,
Mhm.
um, and that's what you can't have. You know, absolutely cannot have that. So yeah, I mean, one innings again. It's against Bangladesh. It is what it is. But hopefully, this puts him in form, and we can move forward, and he can help us out. But yeah, this is the pair until one of them fails. I don't think Abdullah's coming out. To be honest, I don't think, regardless, 2 games left. I don't think, regardless of anything that happens, Abdullah's staying there. And then
There's
I don't
no
even.
reason to even think about taking him
Not at
out.
all.
Yeah, exactly. And then the it may not even matter, right? Like if the last game ends up being a dead rubber, then play whoever you want. I don't care. Play Imam. Who cares? Uh,
So Abdullah Shafiq's played 6 innings this World Cup. He scored 332 runs, 103 50s. His average is 55. His strike rate is 95.
Pretty good.
He has proven me wrong. Like straight up,
Yeah,
I'll eat my words. I didn't think he would be this good. I didn't even think he'd be like
No,
that.
dude. Abdullah Shafiq, I was big on him for before the World Cup started. I think the first episode we did, I told Zan and Ramiz that Abdullah Shafiq just makes me calm. And like, if you look at him, like, technically, he's just so pleasing to watch. This guy is just, and he's only gonna get better. I don't know how old he is. I know he's in his early 20s.
23.
He's very young, 23.
Yeah.
Only gonna get better. I'm excited to see him in Australia. When we go down there in December. Um, Assuming we're gonna take him. I hope we do. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I think when we're
Anything
talking
else?
about our batting, yeah, I
Go
want to give credit to Babar Azam for trying to hit a six.
ahead.
I haven't
Yo,
seen him
take
do
your
that in a
sarcasm and chug it,
long
okay?
time.
I don't want to hear that kind of sarcasm against Babar. I will not tolerate it.
No, like honestly,
नहीं
the
अब
one
वो
time he
मार रहा है
tries to
तो
hit a
फिर भी
six,
वो
out
जो
हो
है
गया
ना
बंदा.
तुम लोगों के ताने सुन रहा है अभी वो बेचारा he I
Credit
when
दे रहा हूँ
he
ना
did
उसको.
that I messaged I think I messaged in our group, right, and I was like, Babar was like, I want to hit a six too.
Yeah, he saw like fucker
बेचारा
did.
out ही हो गया. But yeah, yeah, Babar, man, I don't know.
Spin, man. Spin gets him again. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I feel like when he tries to hit a six, he tries like he almost lifts himself off his feet. He tries to hit it so hard, and then the ball barely makes it to the boundary.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude just doesn't have power. Anybody else you want to shit on, Ramiz? I don't think there's anybody.
प्रोटीन नहीं खाता ना वो.
Yeah, protein कम खाते. इमाम से थोड़ी सी ले ले protein. All right. FT 17 from 15. Mohammad Rizwan 26 from 7. Rizwan swept his first ball for 4. Love to see
That
it.
scared the hell out of me. When he went for that
Right?
suit, I'm like, oh, not this again. Like
Yeah.
the, aud-
No,
the
but he
actual
has a lot of
audacity,
confidence in that shot,
the
man.
audacity of him to play that shot first up, and
Yeah.
he just went for 4, and because it was very full too, right in the wicket. So if he missed it, he was gone LBW. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
like playing a sweep shot so early when you don't know the actual conditions of the pitch, you're very risky, but like can't fault
Yeah.
it.
Uh, that just reminded me of something. I think we need to have a discussion about the DRS and how our team is terrible at using the DRS. Um, I was thinking back to Abdullah Shafiq took a very stupid review today. I don't know why he took that review. He was plumb LBW. Ball
Mhm.
was hitting middle of middle stump, and he should have known that. I don't. You're sweeping the ball. It's hitting you on, on the half volley. You're gonna be out 99.9% of the time. These are not high bouncing pitches. Um, and it made me started while you were talking about the sweep shot there. I was thinking about like I don't think Shaheen Afridi understands how LBW works.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
That's a bold accusation to make, but I was thinking back to like the Australia game. Remember in that game he took that review against Warner with that LBW. It was hitting him like on his side, huge inside edge. Maybe you don't see the edge, but even if you don't, that was hitting him so high, and he just wanted that review like so bad, and they took it, and I was embarrassed that we took it. That was the first ball of the innings, right? Um,
It was
and we
very early
wasted
on.
that
I
review.
can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the first ball of the innings. He took it, and we wasted that
I
review.
think I think when it comes to reviewing when you're bowling side, the keeper has to play a big part in it, right? And from what I've been seeing, Rizwan seems really poor at judging MBWs as well. There was another one against Australia as well. I think it was going down the leg side, and Shaheen. I think it was Shaheen and Rizwan. They went up for a cut behind, and it was nowhere close to the bat. Luckily, Babar didn't take the review at that time, but they were pretty. They seemed pretty confident that they should have taken the review. I think yeah, that's one of the main issues. I think why our reviews as a bowling team is not the best.
Yeah, you need in times like those not just confidence, also like desperation. So that's when you need like a captain who like can think with a cool head and like think, do we are we like reaching for this wicket? There's a real chance of it. I'm and then like as to go back to reviews, like I'm not gonna deny that Pakistan has taken some very questionable reviews, not just in the World Cup, but like in the past couple of years. But I mean, it's for me at least, it's very easy when my view as like a viewer is like straight on, same as Empire, right? Like no obstructions. Thinking from the bowler's point of view, he's coming in at an angle. He thinks everything's attacking the stumps. You guys talk about the wicket keeper. I mean, if the ball is hitting the legs, he like by nature has an obstructed view. So it's easy for like me to like crap on them because that was a plain review. But I mean, I some have to remember sometimes like when I'm playing a match, like when I'm bowling, I yell out LBW for everything. So I'm sure these bowlers are the same. They want these wickets bad. They're gonna justify taking a review whether they're batting or bowling. Be like, oh, I definitely gloved that, or I definitely hurt an edge. We have to take this review. And it goes back to you need like a calm captain who's gonna just be objective about it and say, are we reaching for this review, or is there actually something there?
Yeah, so I agree. And Bichara Babar, I don't blame him. Like I think what happens in most games with Pakistan is that we go for a stupid review like that early in an innings, and Babar gets convinced by the bowler. Because our bowlers get so animated too, right? Like I think today Harish Rauf took a stupid one too, um, where it was clearly not out, and he took it, and and he basically forced Babar to take it. And that happens, right? And then the next one that may be a little bit closer, Babar's like, yeah, get out of here, right? It's probably not out. And so that's when you start kind of like not utilizing the review the way it should be utilized, and that sort of thing. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that while you were talking about the Abdullah Shafiq sweep shot. Made me think of the review that he took. Um, all right, I guess let's move on, and we're gonna be angry now about a lot of stuff. Um, I have never
Ramiz's
seen
smile when we. I'm sorry, Ramiz's smile when you started changing the subject. He has a lot to say.
I have never seen a cricket board try so hard to sabotage their own team in the middle of a World Cup. Um, I think yeah. So I think let's do a summary of. I'm reading my notes here, and I'm trying to think of like how I can summarize it in a way that it's not too long because a lot of stuff has happened, and we need to kind of go through it, right? So we talked about the statement that the PCB put out, um, saying that Babar and Islamam chose the squad. Basically, they threw Babar Azam under the bus for the team's performance in the World Cup so far. We did an episode on that, and then a couple days after that, Rashid Latif said that Babar Azam had been calling Zaka Ashraf and his calls weren't being answered. And Shoaib Jatt, who is on Har Lama Purjosh on GeoTV, um, he released, he obtained and released private WhatsApp chats between Babar Azam and PCB COO, Chief Operating Officer Salman Nasir, where Salman Nasir had asked Babar Azam, "Hey, did this call thing happen? Did you call Zaka Ashraf and he didn't answer your call?" And Babar Azam replied saying, "Aisa to kuch nahi hua. I didn't even call him." Regardless of whether that's true or not, what the actual story is, this is this is really dumb of Shoaib Jatt. I know what kind of a journalist he is. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work, but he is a piece of work. This guy will do anything for clicks. He's kind of known in Pakistani sports media to be kind of a douchebag. He always pulls this kind of stunt. He has an agenda. He has his guys. He's always been against Babur, and
He's like the Piers Morgan of Pakistan. It's horrible. No one likes him.
Piers Morgan. Okay. Yeah, he is a little bit like Piers Morgan and a lot of other people we hate. But yeah, so they released that on the air, and I want to give a huge shout out to Azhar Ali, who was also on that panel. He interrupted him and he said, did you get consent to air this on live TV? And more than that, did you get consent from Babar Azam, who this conversation is with? Um, so huge kudos to Azhar Ali. Always been a big fan of this guy's conduct. Whether he was a great, I think he was actually a very good player, at least in tests. But that's a separate discussion. But yeah, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to him. Wasim Badami later the next day posted a video on Twitter where he apologized for this, and he said that they got consent from Zaka Ashraf to air live on TV, and it was a last minute decision by the production team to do that, which is actually a lie because Shoaib Jatt the previous day had mentioned that I have WhatsApp messages regarding what Rashid Latif has claimed, and we're gonna air tomorrow. So that theory falls flat on itself. Wasim Adami is lying in this video, and he's basically just trying to throw Zaka Ashraf under the bus. Let's talk about that first. Give me your thoughts. I think this is disgusting. We've talked about your team is playing a World Cup. Cut this shit out. This is like, what are you trying to do? I have never seen a media team, a board, do this kind of shit. And you can tell that they are deliberately trying to, I don't know, either cause division in the team or what is it, trying to save their own asses. But I've never seen a board so against their own team and their own players. And yeah, I'll stop and you guys go before I get too angry.
Yeah, so I was actually at work when I saw this. No, I wasn't at work. I woke up in the morning. First thing I see, I have a notification on Reddit, and there was this whole segment from Harlama Purjosh where they were showing his text message, and Azhar Ali was standing up for him, and Shoaib Jatt, like the guy who he is, मैं तो जर्नलिस्ट हूँ, मेरा ये काम है, जो भी मेरे पास है मैं दुनिया को दिखा दूँ. Sure, like theoretically that is your job, right? But that doesn't mean you just show anything that you want to the media. Like there's limitations to things like these. Um, yeah, it's really embarrassing in the middle of the World Cup. So first things first, like we saw the press release last week, and we're like, oh my god, 4 games left, and these guys are coming up with this, and then we see Zaka Ashraf's interview after this whole thing happens, the text message stuff happens, and he's like, oh, team ko support karo, like वापस आ जाए तब उनको बोलना जो बोलना हो.
That made me
अभी
so
उनको back
upset.
करो. I was like,
Sorry to cut you off. That made me so pissed off because I was like, you're the one causing all this shit, you asshole. Don't tell us to support our team when we are doing that. You're the one ruining everything right now.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll cut you off.
Yeah. No, and then former players also came out saying how bad this was. Wakar Yunus tweeted, Shahid Afridi was on one of the channels where he said the same thing. He's like, "Beghairti hai." And no, not Beghairti. He's like, "Ghatiya harkat." He's
Yeah,
like, "Ghatiya
ghatiya.
harkat hai." And I agree with him. बहुत घटिया हरकत है. अगर अच्छी हरकत भी है तो वर्ल्ड कप के बाद कर लो, वर्ल्ड कप के बीच में क्यों कर रहे हो? But yeah, it's just horrible. And then I think Rashid Latif just came back and he reiterated the fact that Babar's been calling the chairman and the chairman's not answering. I think उसने पहले बस he just threw a rumor out. He didn't think it would get this serious, but it got this serious apparently. And he's just like, okay, I gotta stand my ground now. कौन आके मुझे investigate करने वाला है?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it's not for us to decide. I don't know if it's true or not. If you look at some people were saying on Twitter that if you look at the screenshot that they aired on TV, Babar apparently replied a minute
1
later.
minute. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Babar probably has better things to do than deal with this shit, right? So people were saying it's probably fake or whatever. But I don't want to. Obviously, I don't know. You don't know. We don't know if it's real or not. I want to focus on the fact that this is actually Babar can sue these guys if he wants to. He can. This would be considered a cybercrime. I think like
पाकिस्तान में इतने cases हैं पाकिस्तान में, कौन सुनेगा उसका case?
Yeah, and I don't want to be rude, but knowing Babar Azam, it probably took him like more than like a minute to even read that text if he got it. So I don't know about responding to it like that. Because I was
come on, man! Don't say that.
Is so mean,
that's
bro.
so mean.
That's not even true, man.
Because the reply is actually in Urdu. The question was
Yeah.
asked in English, and Babar says in Urdu. Well, he writes Urdu in English, and he says, "Sir, मैंने तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया."
Haris, he got invited to Harvard, man. You're like Zayn, bro. No, you're not like Zayn. You're like Osman. Osman.
What do you mean?
Osman was like, oh, Harvard gaya to kya ho gaya?
Listen.
मैं भी Harvard जा सकता हूँ.
The only point I was making, Zen was acting like fucking going to Harvard for like a sponsored thing is like you.
He got
he's automatically smarter.
invited to Harvard, man. He got invited to Harvard. कुछ तो होगा ना
Yeah,
बंदे.
okay. I don't want to get
और
into the
हारिस के
Harvard
point पे,
discussion again,
I'm
but
sure
Haris तो कह रहा है कि वो बस पेंडू है.
Here's,
That's
okay,
all.
I'm just saying to defend myself, I'm digging myself a hole. But like knowing what you know about Babar Azam and his English speaking skills, do you think it took?
No, dude, Babar can read English.
no,
Come
I
on,
think he
Haris.
can-
That's a bit
yeah.
unfair.
I mean, there's.
I mean,
And he's
he
getting
can, right?
better at talking also, man. He's getting better at talking. I think he's better than his mom.
I don't. I will not tolerate any Babar slander on, especially on this topic, because I feel like, come on, this is our captain. We need to treat him with respect, and we like people have been like, I think whatever this attempt was by PCB and Shoaib Jad and media to cause whatever they wanted to cause, it backfired. People are like supporting this team more than ever. Fans, people have forgotten about like how bad they were in the World Cup. People are like, yeah, let's just support these guys because fuck the PCB, right? And I'm loving it because that's it's united us as a nation. I think our collective hatred of Zaka Ashraf and PCB has united all of us together. Anything else to add there? There is one more piece that I want to get into. Another very major thing that happened. Haris, anything you want to add there?
No, I think I've shit on his English abilities enough for now.
All right. So the other piece,
You were supposed to shit on Zaka Ashraf and Shoaib Jat, not Babar Azam.
I wasn't shitting on him. I was just pointing at. I was supporting Usman's thing.
He was
That
just
maybe
making
it was a fake. That maybe it was fake. The 1 minute time difference was suspicious.
Can you say something about Zaka Ashraf just so we know you're not supporting him?
Oh, I don't. He's a dick. He's an asshole. He's intentionally.
Haris is employed by Zaka Ashraf. He
Yeah,
sent him
looks
on
like
this
it.
podcast, and he was like, "Go talk positive about me."
I think every podcast.
Zaka Ashraf recently met Sarfaraz Ahmad apparently, and Haris is related to Sarfaraz Ahmad. So like it all comes together, man.
Makes sense. Actually, that's a really good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I signed an NDA. Safraz told me I can't say. There are things in the
that's actually a good segue into our next topic that I want, team selection, right? And on the topic of Sarfraz and all that stuff, chatter about Sarfraz as test captain have been heating up, and we'll get into that a little bit later, I guess. But the other part of this whole thing is the whole team selection conflict of interest thing, right? So Zaka Ashraf did an interview with Shoaib Jad, like one-on-one. They were sitting face to face, and he said that Talha Rahmani, who is he's employed by Saya Corporation, which is a talent agency that represents sports athletes in Pakistan. Talha Rahmani, he accused him of being behind the selection process for the Pakistan squad for the World Cup. and selecting players who are part of his agency. So they represent Babar, they represent Shaheen, they represent a bunch of players on the squad currently. I don't have the full list, but they represent a whole lot of them. And so the accusation there is that he is involved with Inzamam ul Haq, and they have kind of put this together, and this kind of goes into the whole Dosiari thing too, right? Apparently, this is like a his accusation is that this is being done so they can financially benefit from it as well. Um, there is it was found that there is a company called Yazoo International Limited registered in the UK, which is a company where Talha Rahmani, Inzamam ul Haq, and Muhammad Rizwan are all directors as shareholders in the company. Um, and so that's what they've used as kind of a proof that they are working for this company together, and so that is a conflict of interest in regards to the selection because they're looking out for each other's best interest. Um, so that all of that happened, and then Saya Corporation released a statement yesterday saying basically debunking all this stuff and saying nothing wrongful is being done here, and we intend to press charges if this thing escalates, and if there's any more misinformation about this stuff. Inzamam has now stepped down as chief selector. PCB has appointed a 5-people committee to investigate this whole thing and figure out whether there was if the allegations are true regarding Inzamam being involved with in this kind of thing, and subsequently if any other players are involved with this kind of thing. And that's where we are today. Inzamam stepped down yesterday, I think, and and today Imam was dropped from the team. So make of that what you will. But yeah, that's all that's happened. I'll let you guys give your take on it, and then I guess I'll go last on this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Mohammad Rizwan is a shareholder. Sure, he may have conflict of interest, but he was the only player who was going to get selected in a position. कोई और select नहीं होने वाला था. Haris wasn't magically going to make it. Sarfraz wasn't going to make the squad. I think again, same thing. Could have waited after the World Cup. We're bringing all this light on ourselves. Yeah, I don't know why the board's doing this. Sometimes I feel like they're doing it so the limelight goes off the players and comes on the board so players can perform. I think I'm giving them too much
यार
credit,
इतने
but
अच्छे नहीं हैं बोर्ड वाले दीपिका अशरफ की शक्ल
yeah,
देखी है तुमने
yeah,
one thing I want to
seriously, I don't
mention
think,
while you
yeah.
were talking about the company there, Saya Corporation in their statement one of the pieces that they mentioned that was important was that they mentioned Yazoo International, the company, and they said that that company is an independent thing. It's an e-commerce venture. I couldn't find anything about this company, but they claim that it's an e-commerce venture that Mohammed Rizwan is involved in. Separate, it has nothing to do with the PCB, nothing to do at all with any commissions or anything like that. So I just wanted to mention that. Haris, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, definitely not a good look. I mean, as if I needed more evidence that like this whole Pakistan cricket board is like a bunch of corrupt dostiyari, where I'm kind of disappointed that's not called like dostiyari LLC or something. What is like Saya Corp or whatever it is. Like they could have been more like on point with it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. Um, just not a good look, whether or not it came out now or later. Especially in the midst of a World Cup when this should be like the last thing on people's minds. It's like management, just to focus on the players. Yeah, a whole shit show. Easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I like. We can all agree that it's a shit show. Everybody's been shitting on the PCB, and people are now speaking up. From like Michael Vaughan was speaking at CrickBuzz today in an interview with Harsha Bole, and he was saying that Babar gets treated like trash by his own country, and his own board, and stuff like that. So people from like other countries are now speaking up about, and I think I don't want to, this is not like a, I don't consider this a conspiracy theory because I think this is deliberate by the PCB. I think they're doing this to, I don't know if they want change. And we talked about Sarfraz being captain. Maybe that's the goal. And Muhammad Rizwan, who would Sarfraz be competing for a spot with on this team? It's Rizwan, right? Um, I don't want to. Again, I don't know that for sure. I don't want to make any accusations. I don't want to, but it does seem deliberate. It does seem like there is some kind of a attempt to cut these guys down to size, particularly Babar and the leadership group, Rizwan, Shaheen, whoever are kind of, these guys who are kind of the faces of the team, right? Seems deliberate. I don't like it. Zaka Ashraf, you suck. I hate you. You need to resign. Yeah, this is awful. Like, to do this in the middle of a World Cup too is just, and then to have the fucking balls to be like, we need to support this team and our ex cricketers are talking shit on. No, you are the ones causing the most amount of drama and causing the most amount of just negative attention to our entire cricket that's going on right now. And yeah, I just want to give props to Babar and the entire team for coming out the way they did today. Great game. Yeah, yeah. You know that meme? I don't know if you guys have seen that meme. It's like a sign from a protest somebody's holding, and it says, "Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck."
Hmm.
uh, that meme applies perfectly to PCB, because I think in the last episode we talked about this is a new low for even the PCB when they released that statement, basically throwing everybody under the bus except for themselves. And I said on that show that this is a new low even for PCB, and now I'm going to say it again. This is a new low even for PCB. Our expectations were super low, but holy fuck, this is like, you need to do a better job. Like, politics and that sort of stuff. Yeah. uh like I said last time too, if Sarfraz comes back on this team as captain, I riot. If you put all this stuff aside too, like, um Sarfraz, like, even if you go by like skill or merit, right? Sarfraz, for me, this guy cannot play on bouncy pitches in Australia. And for him to pick now for this tour in Australia would be the most regressive and backwards move, in my opinion. I know, Harish, you're a big Sarfraz guy, but that's my opinion.
No, agree
Um,
100%. No,
okay.
we're way past the pros at this point.
Good thing we
No,
didn't get into an argument. But yeah, no, like, I don't want to get into the politics of it. It does seem like there is an attempt to, bring back some old face like that. Particularly Surfraz, there's been some chatter about that, like I mentioned. But yeah, even on merit, even on scale, it doesn't make sense. Rizwan is your guy right now. He's one of the best batsmen in the team. He's a better keeper than Surfraz too, I think. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but uh, my opinion again. But yeah,
I just feel like I feel like we're the only team in the world where we can't for some reason play two wicket keepers at the same time. England,
yeah, they do
I
it
can't remember
right.
which.
Bairstow and
I don't-
Joss Butler play together.
England, there was one game for England. I can't recall exactly when they had five keepers in the lineup,
mhm.
and I heard that I was like, this is actually insane, and we can't even fit two in for some reason. Australia's actually played more than one keeper at the same time. New Zealand's played more than one keeper at the same time. England does it all the time. I don't know why we can't do it. If they're both there, one of them I'm sure can feel outfield, and I think Rizwan would be a really good outfield
Yeah,
fielder.
I agree 100%. Like two wicket keepers can play. And back when like Safraz was captain, or I think it was like 2015 when they toured Zimbabwe. Safraz and Rizwan were playing, and Rizwan was great at point. He was great at slip. He was taking the most insane catches. So it's definitely doable. Especially like even right now as our backup keeper, like on this squad, is it Imam ul Haq scary enough, or like? But yeah, like you said, like it's not out of the realm to play more than two wicket keepers. I don't know why Pakistan's so adamant it has to be Rizwan or it can be like anyone else. It's definitely like a possibility, but like I think like we touched on, I don't know if the clock has probably run out on Surfraz for now.
Yeah, I think teams think about it differently too, right? Like, I don't, in the Ashes that just happened, there was a whole discussion about like Ben Folks, who is a very good keeper, but obviously he's not as good of a batsman as Bairstow, right? And they picked Bairstow and persisted with him in the entire series. And a lot of English fans and media were upset about that because they were saying you pick a keeper for their keeping ability. And Ben Folks is one of the best, purely on a wicket keeping perspective. He's one of the best in the world, right? So yeah, I mean, I think teams think about it differently. I think the wicket keeper role has evolved into more of a, you have to be able to bat too. You can't just, like, Moin Khan was somebody like that. He could bat better than, like, I don't know better than who, but he could bat decent, I think. well enough that he could smack a quick like 20, 30, get you some runs. But he was he was somebody like Ben Folks who was primarily in the team for his keeping, not his like batting prowess, right? But anyway, I think we're digressing from the conversation. Yeah, fuck you, Zaka Ashraf. Fuck you, Shoaib Jat. I just want to mention that one more time. You guys suck. You guys are ruining Pakistan cricket. I hope Zaka Ashraf is either kicked out or resigns after all this. We don't know what's going to happen with Inzamam. Inzamam has said that he's stepping down until this investigation is done, and then he's going to come back if the investigation doesn't find anything. I don't believe that. I think he's done. I think they're gonna.
अब्बा का घर है ना
Yeah.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही मैं बाहर जा रहा हूँ खत्म हो के वापस अंदर आ रहा हूँ
खत्म हो जाता मुझे बता देना मैं वापस आ जाऊंगा. But anyway, that's what he said. I mean, who knows? But I just, I'm thinking about the Australia tour. I don't know about you guys, but that's something that I'm really looking forward to. I want, we're gonna get our asses kicked. I just hope there's some progress. I just hope it's not a shit show like it always is. Playing in Australia is something that's, I always look forward to it. Australian summer is so much fun, right? Test cricket. So I hope we can put up a good fight. I hope we send people based on merit. I hope we send a good team that is at least able to hang in there in those test matches. It's going to be really hard to win a test match in Australia, but
I think Haris Rauf shouldn't go.
Oh dear
oh,
God!
you heard our last one, right?
Huh?
Or you were, or no, the one before that, I think, where you weren't there. We talked about Harish Rauf going to Australia.
Oh no, I don't think
I
he should
will.
go.
I
Shoaib
will.
Malik,
riot.
Shoaib Malik has said that Harish Rauf should go to Australia.
Oh God, no.
He's good with the white ball in Australia for sure, but I don't think with the red ball he would be effective.
Yeah, I mean, he has no test experience, right? He played one test match against either England or Australia. I don't know which one
England
series it
got
was at home.
smacked.
And he got injured, and then that was it, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like we've talked extensively about like T20 cricket and how much these guys play that. They're just not used to the longer format. Even ODIs are too much for these guys. So
Yeah, Haris Rauf until recently he was playing table cricket, right?
Mhm.
And
नहीं
that's where he got
recently
picked
तो
up
नहीं
from.
यार टेप
So,
बॉल क्या है तुम
मतलब
ऐसे
6
कह रहे
साल
हो
पहले
जैसे
recently
कल
है
तक वो टेप बॉल क्रिकेट खेल रहा था
6 साल पहले तो recently है. He's 20.
yeah
He's
yeah
turning 30 in a week, right?
yeah
So for him, I think that's pretty recent because generally players already or should already be in the domestic circuit by the time they're
Mhm.
16, 17, playing some first class cricket and stuff. But yeah, he was very recently playing table cricket, so I don't think he should be playing a test match.
Definitely not. I
yeah
mean,
yeah
I'm saying like if it were up to me, like I'm looking at that guy, the Asm Trophy, like who top the wicket takers and the leading run scorers. If it were up to me, like take Shafiq, Babar, Shaheen, Rizwan, fill the rest of the seven with your one,
whoever the
two,
top performers are.
yeah, the test what?
I was saying whoever the top performers are in
Yeah,
KDA.
and like whoever's did well in tests so far this year, like Brar Ahmad and whoever, like Khurram Shahzad had a great tournament. Mir Hamza, I feel like Mir Hamza is a great bowler. I think he would do well in
Mir Hamza
Australia.
should be in there for sure.
Mir
I got
Hamza,
into a really big discussion about Saim Ayub with a friend of mine the other day and whether he should go to Australia. And he was saying that we need to send Saim Ayub. I can understand that line of thought process. And I think as I was talking to him, I realized that yes, he should go. But at the same time, we've seen this PCB do this thing, right? And again, we were talking about Nawaz, sorry, not Nawaz, Osama Mir, persist with him. Don't drop him if he fails. 3 test matches. If he gets golden ducks in all of them, don't drop him. Keep him. And Simon Yu was maybe a little bit different because he's touted as a very high talent. But that we've seen that happen in the past, right? Sami Aslam was somebody who was I thought he was a decent player, good opener. Took him to England. He performed well. He had like an 80. He had played well in those conditions, and then we just never heard about him again. He just disappeared. I don't know what he's. I think he's trying to get USA citizenship now and playing there, right? I just don't want to see that happen. So if you're gonna drop him after a bad performance, don't take him because he is gonna
I
get
think I
exposed.
think I think Sayam Ayub should go, but I don't think he should play. Should just get the experience of just being there with the
Yeah,
team.
and maybe that's a
I
good option.
And
I get
yeah,
that, but if it comes at the expense of missing like domestic 50 over matches, I wouldn't take him. I would only bring him if you're going to play him. Otherwise, let him keep playing like 50 over matches. And
I don't know. I think just going with the club with the team at this young age would be a much more fulfilling
See,
experience and helpful to
I
him
hear
than
that and
playing
I
like
get it on
how
paper.
many
It
games
makes
is he gonna
sense.
miss? Like 5 games maybe he's gonna
True,
miss.
I
Not a
get it on
lot, right?
paper, like going for the experience, getting used to like conditions and nets. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen that like happen like in person. I don't hear players like, oh, I came by, I was a reserve and played the nets, and I got used to these conditions. I think like
Yeah.
if you're gonna select him, I don't think you should. But if you're gonna select him with the intent of playing him. Um, but I mean, if it comes at the expense of missing domestic matches, I would not select him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be picked for the
Yeah.
squad anyway.
Even though I'm looking at his numbers
Yeah.
right now, he played 8 innings. He had 3 centuries, high score of
That's the
203.
thing, right? And that's the
It's
argument
a
I was
pitches
making
though.
with my friend. And he was, he was so adamant that we should take him. And I was like, dude, like we need to chill, right? Like I know he's a very good player. Let's not. And remember Heather Ali? How we fucking Heather Ali is amazing.
I
We
hope
need
he's
to
not
play
the
him
next
at
one.
number 3, and we need to do. And I was like, I just don't want another Heather Ali on our
Mm.
hands. Let's not do that. That was the only point I was making. But anyway, I will do a more extensive. Uh, I'm really excited for that tour. We'll cover it, and we'll do a more extensive kind of squad preview and that sort of thing when
Real
that
quick,
comes. I think we're getting.
I don't know if you guys
Yep.
followed the Kaizen Trophy at all, but do you guys know who was the leading run scorer?
Who was it? I don't know. Surprise Evan?
I think it's Sarfaraz,
No,
right?
Safraz number 2, but number 1 was
Yeah.
Sahibzada Farhan, which
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't hate the idea of taking him.
Just fill the team with top QA performers.
That's what
Do
I'm
it.
saying. You
Yeah,
earned your spot. Go play.
yeah. I'm down with that, man. But yeah. Anyway,
I don't
sorry. The
know,
only
man. We're going to Australia. It's we can't take it all players who haven't really
पिंडी
played.
पिंडी की पेज से उठा के बेस्ट रन स्कोरर को लेकिन
Yeah.
और क्या what
Drop
other option is there, right? What do you do? Like that's your thing. That's your
Just
domestic.
take
What the fuck are you gonna
Here's
do?
the thing.
you take
Our
Imam, Abdullah Shafiq, Babar Azam, Rizwan,
Imam, we were
Sarfaraz.
talking about like how shitty he is against short bowling. You're taking
He's
him to
not shit,
Australia.
Yeah,
man.
to me, like
He's
our best 11 is not winning a Test series in Australia. So you might as well take like
Yeah,
an experience, like a new team with mixing with some experienced
that's the
guys.
भाई
only
बेइज्जत हो
argument. That's
जाएंगे
the only
बेइज्जत
argument
हो
I can
जाएंगे
see.
We
नहीं यार
get
बेइज्जत
बहुत
कैसे
ज्यादा
ही
embarrassed.
होंगे?
बेइज्जत
The
हो
Mees
जाएंगे
We
were
get
not.
embarrassed
नहीं बहुत
anyway.
ज्यादा बेइज्जत हो जाएंगे
नहीं यार
no
लेकिन
it's gonna be too much embarrassment
ओ
We
नहीं
get
यार क्या
embarrassed. We're gonna get
embarrassment
embarrassed
होगा?
regardless.
no
Yeah,
no
I agree with Haris. I think if you're gonna get embarrassed, at least get you guys some exposure, and that's the only argument I can get behind for taking time with you. Um, give him exposure. You're gonna get, like I said in the beginning when we started talking about this, we're not
too
winning. I don't
soon
think we're
man
winning a test match. I don't even think we're
No,
getting a draw. To be honest, I don't.
if it rains.
It would be if it rains maybe. But yeah. Anyway, I think we're getting a little too derailed. We talked about this is in December. We're talking about it for the last 20 minutes. Um, the only other thing I wanted to mention about the whole PCB saga is a quote that was posted by somebody on Twitter. This is from somebody in the Pakistan squad currently in the World Cup, a senior player. They haven't named him for obvious reasons, but this player said that basically that they have no backing from the board. The quote I wanted to read was, "Who are we supposed to fight first, our board or our opponents?" And I read that and it really got to me, and I was thinking, and that's what I meant by like a deliberate attempt, right? These guys, there's no harmony in our cricket system. It feels like our board is trying to get at our players, and like I don't know what they are trying to make an example out of them, or like what they're trying to do, but this comes up time and again. I feel like yeah, I forgot about all the shit performances in the World Cup. Like I said, I think this has kind of had the opposite effect that maybe PCB wanted than what PCB wanted. I forgot about everything that happened in the last 4 games. I was like, I'm backing these guys. I want them to win everything. If they make the semi somehow, which I'm, well, we're all hoping for, that would be the funniest thing. And I think Zach Ashraf is gonna feel like a really big moron if that happens. So, um, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't know if you guys have anything to add there.
no
I just
No.
don't know what motivates Zaka Ashraf. I mean, like, why? Like, why? Like, why? What's the point? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, they have motives for sure. It's not.
for
Yeah.
the money.
We just yeah, whatever. Yeah, screw Zaka Ashraf, screw Shoaib Jatt, screw a lot of the ex cricketers. Big shout out to I already gave a shout out to Azhar Ali. Another big shout out to Mohammad Yusuf. These guys have been backing Babar and the team throughout this whole saga. I haven't heard anything negative from these guys, so good on them for doing that.
I
Uh,
love it. It's so easy to get credit in Pakistan. बस
that's the thing,
बुराइयां नहीं
right?
करो
It's
किसी
a,
की.
But
yeah,
be
that's
decent.
the thing.
Yeah.
We
The
expect the
standard is so
bare
low.
minimum. Just don't talk shit. That's the bare minimum. And it's the same with our spinners, right? We're like, just bowl in a good length. You don't have to turn it. Nothing. Just
The
get the
bar is
length
so
right.
low.
Yeah, the bar is very low for sure. All right. Anything else? Do you know? Oh yeah. We should talk about this. Champions Trophy qualification criteria. This came like I don't know yesterday or the day before. Randomly,
Yeah,
Quick Info
Monday.
posted that the top 7 teams from this tournament are gonna qualify for Champions Trophy in Pakistan in 2025, and we get through by being hosts. And apparently, nobody knew about this. None of the teams knew about this. They were like, "This is the first we're hearing of this." So
So I
ICC is
think
just bad at
Bangladesh
PGB.
knew. Yeah, I think apparently it was only the teams were notified internally, and I think one of the reasons why England didn't know about this was because they had some changes since they announced it. I think back in like
वो
2019 or
कह रहे होंगे
something.
यार that's why
So
अब हम serious होके
yeah,
खेलेंगे. We're gonna qualify
how
for
was
the
it is okay
Champions
killing.
Trophy. They have 2
Yeah,
points, man.
so
Which
that's really weird. Like if you're some of your previous employees left and they didn't give this you didn't know about this very important information.
But it's not just them,
Yeah, so
Ramiz. I
it's
think other boards have said it too. Cricket for article said that a
there's not
few
a lot
boards
of
didn't know
them.
about it.
No, there's not a lot of them. I think there's one or two maybe.
Oh, really? Okay.
England was yeah. Bangladesh knew, and I think Pakistan also knew. Well, Pakistan it's
Pakistan,
automatic
thankfully.
qualification.
Did you guys know?
But yeah,
Sorry, did you guys know that Pakistan almost didn't qualify for 2017 Champions Trophy? Like
No, I don't
the
remember
I
that.
might have known at that
cutoff date
time.
was like September 8th,
I remember that whole
and then
thing. Yeah, yeah,
September
yeah, yeah.
9th they lost to Zimbabwe and they dropped to like ninth place. So they just made the cutoff.
And then we won the whole
We
thing.
won the whole
Yeah,
thing.
Pakistan Zindabad. I love this team so much. Um, yeah, but yeah, Champions Trophy. We're gonna host it. We've been talking about the.
Host.
I had a question. Like, if we don't get if it gets moved out of Pakistan and we're not, I think we're gonna be in the top 7 anyways. But first karo hum nahi hai top 7 mein. What happens then? Are we still the de facto
We,
hosts or like
yeah,
what?
yeah, of
How does it
course.
work?
It's the
Okay,
top 7 plus hosts. Top 7 plus hosts. So we're
okay.
set.
So even if it's in like UAE, we still
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
yeah, we're
through.
still the host. Yeah, yeah.
UAE takes
Okay.
our spot.
Chalo, shukar hai. We won't have to worry about the
Uh-huh.
like we did the last one, right? Um, that's all I got on the agenda. Anything else you got? Harish, you want to do on this day?
Yeah, let's see what we got for you guys today. For next couple of days at least.
Yeah, you can expand the range to like
Yeah,
3 days.
no, that's what I'm doing. 1990 Pakistan versus New Zealand in Faisalabad. They sealed 3-0 clean sweep. Waqar Yunus did well, took 5 for 54 in the first innings and 7 for 76. Pakistan won by 65 runs there. Um,
I don't see your boy Wahab Riaz taking any fifers in Faisalabad.
because it was 1990, okay? He wasn't like that boy. Here's
So
the
he
thing.
never got to play
I'm
at
actually
home.
I actually don't like Wahab Riaz that much, but like I'm gonna defend him to like the death now.
Yeah.
Um,
He was a good analyst on the pavilion in the first
Yeah,
season. I'll say that.
surprisingly.
He
One
he
of
was
the
a fun
most,
addition.
one of the greatest Pakistani fast bowlers of all time, Rao Iftikhar Anjum was born. Had a fantastic
मेरे
one.
का पता नहीं क्या बोलेगा राव इफ्तिखार अंजुम.
He
Okay, nice.
I don't know if you guys have a favorite memory of his, but he played one Test, 62 ODIs, and two T20s over the course of like four
यार
jam-packed.
one टेस्ट जो है उसके stats निकालो quickly.
He played Sri Lanka in Kandy.
And how did he do? Did he get a wicket?
He bowled 11 first innings. He bowled 11 overs, 54 runs, no wickets. Scored 9 not out, and then
There you go.
he bowled 3 overs for 8 runs, and then Pakistan won the match. He didn't bat, and he has one
Damn,
fifer. So
Test
overall,
legend.
yeah, overall, pretty solid career. If you have one fifer and play like 65 matches with Pakistan. Oh,
There's actually a bunch of stuff that happened on 31st October.
yeah, I'm looking right now. Actually, an arguably better all rounder was born. Abdul Razak was born. I don't know.
Arguably, okay.
Arguably, I mean, I think he is, but it technically can be argued. I don't know about you, far and away, like one of my favorite players growing up. That innings against
I was
South
watching
Africa.
the highlights. I don't know how they
Crazy.
popped up on my YouTube the other day. His 100 against South Africa in Dubai.
Mhm.
He single-handedly won that game for us in that ODI. Yeah, one of the greatest innings I remember watching. But yeah, sorry, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I shared that on our group the other day, right?
Oh,
I think so.
is that what happened? Okay, okay. That's
Yeah.
how I watched it
Yeah, yeah.
then.
Yo, Haris, you said Abdul Razak's birthday is when?
Um, Shoot, I just pulled it up.
Oh, we'll wish
Who
him happy
cares?
birthday.
It's around this time somewhere.
It's the second.
November?
November 2nd?
Yeah.
Okay.
October 2nd.
Okay.
It's like a month ago. All right, what
So
else?
another
Anything else,
big thing
man?
happened today. There was something big really happened. Javed Mirdad became the youngest person to score a test double century today in 1976.
Ooh.
How old was he?
And he was 19 years and 141 days. And then he scored a double in each of his first three tests. So, yeah, solid start for Javed Mirdad.
I know I'm young. Were you guys the Javelin that era, or was that also before you?
No, I have a very I have a very brief recollection. I was 6 years old when the '96 World Cup happened, and all I remember
Ooh.
is my dad being really upset that Miadad was playing really slow in that quarterfinal against India. I think I don't remember watching him play.
Mhm.
And we were talking earlier about like Wasim Akram Makari, like Wasim Akram played until the 2007 World Cup, right?
Wasim
Or
Akram? No, 2003.
2003 was the last one. 2007 was
Yeah,
Wakari
yeah.
Yunus, yeah.
No,
Um,
Vakarians was also
Sorry.
2003.
oh
They're
yeah,
both 2003. Yeah.
2000. Oh yeah, 2007 means the mom
You're
captain,
thinking
right?
you're thinking about Wahab Riaz.
या 2007 में कैप्टन इंजमाम
What a
था ना जब
legend.
हम
2007 World Cup, yeah, Inzama was captain.
yeah, so even in the 2003 I was 13 years old. That's, you know, I was a young in there, almost as
Bro,
old as Hud is.
I do a podcast with a bunch of uncles.
But yeah, I remember that
There was
India
one more
game
thing happened.
against an India game in the 2003 World Cup in South Africa. I remember the back foot punch that Sachin Tendulkar played to Wasim Akram. I don't know if you guys remember that. You can probably pull up highlights. It was in the first over, I think, or in the first spell. One of the greatest shots I've ever seen. But anyway, sorry, go ahead, Ramesh. What else happened?
1990, Wakar Yunus against New Zealand. He got 5 for 44 in the first innings and 7 for 76 in the second inning. Pakistan won that game by 65 runs and clean sweep against New Zealand 3
Yeah,
nil.
dude, he already mentioned that one. That was the
That's the
first one
first
he
thing I
did.
said.
Oh, did you? Oh, I'm so sorry
No,
about
it's
that.
okay.
I'm
I
so
was about
sorry.
to
Can
Honestly,
you
I
cut
I was
this
like, I just
out?
went
I'm
through
sorry.
that.
like, yo, we did that
Uh,
shit twice on the same day.
1990,
I
1990
can't
World
wait to
Cup.
reel
Wow.
this. How am I going to do that? Because that was so long ago that I said that too.
And
I'll figure out a way.
I think you are right about the Razak's thing. I was looking at December 2nd, so we can cut that out too. Actually,
December 2nd?
it was
Okay,
December.
okay. We'll
December
edit that.
2nd.
I'll leave it in there because it's just going to show that we were not prepared for this segment today.
Okay,
Haris,
vibe.
you're fired from doing on this day.
And I know I just had an
We'll,
interview with Surprise lined up too, but I guess we throw it out the window.
after everything we talked about, maybe I don't want him on the show.
Yeah, you
I'm a
do,
Babat stan for life now.
bro. Like,
Uh, until he retired. I was thinking about, we were shitting so much on his captaincy, and like somebody brought up on, I don't know who it was. They were saying that I think it was actually Mohammad Yusuf, while he was backing Babar Azam and everything, he was saying that Imran Khan didn't win the World Cup until his third World Cup that he captained. So if you look at it that way, like he's gonna evolve, man. He's not gonna stay. I know he's 29. He probably has one more World Cup, if that, in him. We're talking about ODI, right? He'll be 33 for the next one. But maybe it's gonna give him 4 years to learn more on the job and that sort of thing.
I think Imran Khan was like 40 something or like
didn't he come back and captain the World
39.
Cup? Didn't he retire from hockey
Yeah,
because he came back?
he retired. I
Yeah, it
think
was
he
the last
retired in
one.
'91, and then he was brought back in '92, something like that.
Yeah, I remember when he announced his comeback. Um,
But yeah, anything else?
याद है तुम्हें? हारिस को याद है वो दिन.
Haris को याद है?
bro, it was
हारिस
yesterday,
जिंदा था
man. It
उस
was
टाइम
crazy. I pulled out my
पे.
What's
iPhone. I
your
saw him.
actually? I shouldn't even. I was gonna ask your year of birth, but I don't know if you want to give away your age on air.
I'm just 26, so I'm still pretty young.
Yeah, Haris is a young
Imran
gun.
Khan was 39, turning 40 that in October of '92.
Yeah,
So can't count on Babar for 2 more World Cups.
Considering all the T20 World Cups he's captain to, I feel like that counts. That's got to count.
yeah. So Babar has like 11 years to win this thing, man. You guys need to give him more time. All right. But yeah, I thought that was a good point. Not everybody is gonna like. He's still fairly young. Like we need to give him a bit more
I'm just saying it
leash.
took Safraz like 4 months to win his first ICC trophy, so everyone else is slacking.
Yeah, Dekho, we talked about that ICC trophy and who actually won it, right?
Did
Like we
I
talked about Hassan
did I lie?
Ali and
Did I
like
lie?
Fakhar
Did I lie?
or and your boy Muhammad Ahmed actually won us that final, if you think about it.
He's not my.
So
I can't stand Muhammad Amir, but that's a story for another time.
yeah. I'm just being
Yeah.
sarcastic. I think we all hate Muhammad Ahmed, I think. But yeah, anything else you guys want to bring up? I got nothing else.
Can't wait to see what drama unfolds next week. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, who knows what's gonna
Next
happen?
week, it's gonna be tomorrow.
Oh,
Something's
tomorrow.
gonna happen
Yeah,
tomorrow.
next time we record, it's gonna be
Next week's too far.
crazy new thing that's happening, man.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about that whole drama was that Pakistan players have not been paid salaries for 4 months. So you're doing all this shit and you're not even paying your players. Yeah, another thing that you know, just a fucking shit organization. They don't know how to do anything. It seems. But yeah, fuck you, PCB. I don't
Straight up.
blame this team for being shit. Honestly, when it is shit, it's because they have like no support from anybody, and that's what it is. So I'm gonna back these guys forever and ever until PCB fixes itself. That's my new thing. I'm not gonna be negative anymore. I'm gonna I've got my spreadsheet out. I'm hoping Temba is gonna pull off a win tomorrow, and then we beat New Zealand on Saturday, Friday. What is it? Friday, Saturday,
Right.
and then we just need
No,
to
sorry.
hope that New Zealand lose 2 more, and we win our last one.
Yeah, it's
Like
not
adding
happening,
more
guys.
things to it. I'm adding more things to it as I'm talking.
Yeah, it's good talk.
Ramiz, be positive. I need positivity on the show. Haris, be positive. Zan would be
क्या मिलता
positive.
है पॉजिटिव होके पाकिस्तानी fan and positivity
Yeah, Dekho, this
cannot
is a
coexist.
very
It's
emotional
really
time right
tough.
now. This is a very emotional time. I want all of us to support the team.
Of course, you're gonna support
Yeah.
them when they're playing. Like in
No, but I want you to have belief that we're gonna make the semis because that's what we need to.
But that's not in our hands, right? We're not really
I'm
supporting our
fooling
team.
I'm fooling myself a little bit as I'm
Yes,
talking.
I admire the optimism. I'll give you that.
If Zan was here, he'd support me in this blind optimism that's gonna get us nowhere. All right, yeah, I guess that's it then. Thanks for listening to another episode. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at shot_yard and on TikTok and YouTube at shot yard. I didn't forget YouTube this time, Ramiz. And visit us at shotyard.com. Thanks for listening. Oh, next time, I want to mention one more thing. We were supposed to have Adham from Stumps and Insights on
You
our
mentioned
show.
it. That was the first thing you mentioned in the
Oh,
show.
I did? Okay.
Housekeeping,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Arham,
Thanks for
he
listening.
loves you. Arham Osman loves you.
Love you, buddy. Take care. All right. See ya.